Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Y&R Trends. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Victor installs surprise Newman on the Jabot kingdom after betraying Phyllis. Victor Newman may betray Phyllis Summers and impose an unexpected Newman on the Jabot kingdom following the conquest. Victor is equally determined to hold Jack Abbott responsible, but Jack plans to use every tool at his disposal to neutralize Victor's threat. It is clear that Victor is intent on pursuing Jack and causing chaos for the Abbotts. Phyllis wants something in return for giving Victor the AI program so he can wreak havoc. When Victor finishes his plan, will he truly fulfill his pledge to give Phyllis leadership of Jabot? Y&R viewers have seen multiple people tricked by Victor into signing transactions they thought were final. Because Victor will always act in the Newman's best interests, Phyllis cannot be certain that he will keep his word. Victor's lack of respect for Phyllis could potentially be detrimental to her. Victor may come to the conclusion that Phyllis has done her job, and that it doesn't really matter if she is successful in this quest. In light of all of that, we might wish to consider several scenarios for Jabot's future. If Victor is successful in taking over the company, he might choose to replace Phyllis with a Newman. Naturally, some Newmans won't back Victor's takeover attempt, so things could become difficult. Nikki Newman wouldn't want to be in charge of Jabot, to be sure. Victoria Newman, Nick, and Claire most likely fit the same description. Adam Newman, who has considered Jack a friend for a long time, could struggle to comply with that instruction. Victor could be better off hiring a new Newman who will be going back to Genoa City. What if Victor uses Noah Newman's extended sabbatical from the business world as an opportunity to lure him back? Noah will seem well by Christmas in Georgia, even if he is currently in a coma. Noah's attempts to distance himself from his Newman persona are met with resistance from Victor. Ultimately, Noah may decide to return to the Newman family and give up all of this nightclub business. Noah might play the CEO of Jabot if he is pulled back into the Newman narrative in order to highlight the edgy element this recast is supposed to have. As a result, Claire could get involved in a dispute between Kyle Abbott and Noah. In any case, Victor may ultimately choose to install a Newman at Jabot in accordance with his side of the Phyllis deal. Phyllis had to deal with 5 startling acts of retaliation in the Jabot takeover. Phyllis Summers. The cunning new CEO of Jabot might be held responsible for Phyllis's recent actions, so let's discuss the main risks she faces. Phyllis is prepared to provide the stolen AI program to Victor Newman, who wishes to destroy Jack Abbott. It's interesting to notice that Phyllis is eager for Victor to finally relinquish control because he can achieve his goal without completely destroying Jabot. She could believe that she can manage the fallout from such a daring decision, but she can soon find herself up against these 5 nasty obstacles. To begin with, despite their complicated romantic history, Jack may decide to take revenge. First, Jack might exact severe retribution if Victor manages to seize control of Jabot and hand Phyllis the reins. If Phyllis decides to take on the role of CEO and indulges in her customary self-satisfaction, Jack might make it his specific mission to undermine her. Furthermore, the long-standing hostility between Phyllis and Diane Jenkins Abbott is likely to resurface. Phyllis's scheme would surely infuriate Diane and reignite their bitter rivalry, so you can be sure she will seek revenge. Kane Ashby would surely be angry when he learns that Phyllis has been scheming solely to benefit herself. Although Phyllis is really only thinking about herself, she made an effort to convince Kane that he could trust her. Phyllis should be prepared for the aftermath, because Kane has already made it clear that he will get revenge if he discovers that she is a traitor. We must also consider Phyllis's children, who will be furious with her behavior. Summer Newman will surely react furiously, and may even decide to leave Marchetti once Phyllis tries this absurd ruse. Victor Newman, a guy whose reputation for brutal power maneuvers is legendary even by Newman standards, is at the center of the universe of Genoa City, which is about to see yet another business earthquake. But this time his aim is none other than Jack Abbott and Jabot, the family business that has long been a source of frustration for him. In a startling turn of events, however, there are rumors that Victor might not uphold his alleged partnership with Phyllis Summers. Rather, he might surprise everyone by installing an unexpected Newman on the Jabot throne after the dust has settled. It all started when Phyllis, always the cunning one, saw a fantastic opportunity. She possessed Kane Ashby's pilfered AI technology, A state-of-the-art application that could revolutionize any corporate empire. Hungry for atonement and retribution, Phyllis knew that giving it to Victor would grant her the status and authority she had been longing for. In her mind, the agreement was straightforward. She gives Victor the technology to destroy Jabot from within, and he gives her ownership of the business after the Abbots are removed. But as anyone who has lived in Genoa City for a long time will tell her, Victor Newman utilizes alliances rather than creating them. Additionally, people are thrown away like yesterday's press release once they have outlived their usefulness. Meanwhile, Jack Abbott has learnt about Victor's actions. He has been shown in recent moments as a cautious and tired man who refuses to give up. Jabot has been the focus of Victor's personal attacks for decades, and this time is no exception. Jack is aware that Victor will destroy the Abbott family legacy if he gains even a single inch. However, Jack's faith in his son Kyle and sister Tracy may not be sufficient. It's brilliant, brutal, and classic Victor. Victor has something new, Phyllis's AI technology, which may influence Jabot's operational and financial data to create the appearance of instability, opening the door for Victor's rescue. Ironically, Phyllis feels in charge. She thinks she can outwit Victor. She reminds herself that Victor guaranteed her control, therefore her contract is strong. She knows better though deep inside. Instead of making promises, Victor uses power. Furthermore, it's no secret that he despises Phyllis. He has put up with her when it suited him, but entrusting her with something as priceless as the Newman name? That isn't taking place. When Victor eventually pulls off his corporate coup, what will happen? Will he actually give Phyllis Jabot? Or will he prioritize safeguarding his family's heritage like he always does? It's easy to predict how this will turn out given his past. Victor might calmly plot Phyllis's demise while grinning in her face. When the moment is appropriate, he will reveal the shocking news that he is giving Jabot to a Newman. Which one, though? Victoria Newman is too preoccupied with Newman Enterprises to be interested in managing Jabot. One of Nick Newman's closest pals, Jack, would never be involved in a plot to destroy him. Even by Victor's standards, Nikki wouldn't want her name associated with such a brutal takeover. Despite his sinister aspirations, Adam has recently been attempting to establish a tenuous reconciliation with Jack. Even the newest member of the family, Claire, is too preoccupied with starting over to enter that type of fire. Who does that leave, then? Noah Newman is one Newman who has gone unnoticed for a while, yet has the power to completely change the game. Noah has been conspicuously absent from the corporate sector. He left the corporate instability, the boardroom disputes, and the family name to follow his own aspirations in Los Angeles and London. However, Victor might view this as the ideal chance to reintegrate him into the Newman family following his near-death experience and coma. Imagine Victor telling his grandson that it's time to accept his birthright, and that he will be the one to lead the Newman torch into hostile terrain, not Nick or Victoria. It seems poetic to Victor. Revitalized and devoted, a young Newman assumes charge of the Abbott family's most valuable asset. Its legacy, not just business. It's retaliation. And Phyllis would be in the driver's seat once more. It will hurt deeply when she finds out that Victor doesn't want to become her CEO. All of her planning and risk-taking, including giving up Kane's AI program, controlling Kane and betraying Jack, will have been in vain. However, Phyllis is not the type of woman who lingers. No one could put out the fire that the treachery would ignite in her. At that point, Phyllis Summers might be at her most deadly in Genoa City. She won't be the only one prepared to retaliate, though. Let's discuss the 5 retaliatory strategies Phyllis may encounter after the takeover, and how they could ruin her before she has a chance to attack. First, Jack Abbott's revenge. Even though Jack is a sensible guy, betrayal hurts deeply, especially when it comes from someone he once loved. Jack won't stop until Phyllis pays if Victor takes over with her assistance. Jack will make it his goal to destroy Phyllis, whether it be by corporate sabotage, legal battle, or emotional destruction. Expect emotionally charged sequences, such as Phyllis retaliating that she was merely struggling to survive as Jack accuses her of selling her soul. However, both of them know in their hearts that their shaky understanding is coming to an end. 2. Diane Jenkins' rage. Diane's answer will be outright explosive if Jack's is personal. This treachery has the potential to rekindle the long-standing animosity between her and Phyllis. Imagine Diane confronting Phyllis at society. The atmosphere is tense. Both women are making accusations, and the past is seeping into the present. Diane will see to it that Phyllis loses face in addition to her influence. Diane may become Phyllis's most formidable foe to date due to her access to insider knowledge at Jabot. Third, Cain Ashby's payback. When Phyllis stole Cain's AI, they formed an alliance. Cain trusted Phyllis because he believed she was an ally, but Phyllis took advantage of that confidence. He will be enraged to learn that she gave Victor his creation for personal benefit. When Cain is cornered, his dark side comes out. To get Phyllis to pay, expect him to threaten legal action, blackmail, and even sabotage. This might give Cain a long overdue plot centered on retribution and atonement, reviving his significance in Genoa City. 4. The heartbreak of Summer Newman. Despite being one of Genoa City's most crafty ladies, Phyllis is also a mother. And losing her daughter's regard will hurt more than anything else. Summer will be devastated to find out that her mother assisted Victor in destroying Jabot, the business where she has created her own future. Summer's mother would have to deal with the psychological fallout from her desire if she were to leave Marchetti and Phyllis. Phyllis may fall apart more quickly from that kind of personal loss than from any corporate conflict. 5th, Victor's last betrayal. The final twist is Victor himself. Phyllis is out once he uses her to take Jabot. No agreement, no title, no appreciation. Victor will use traditional Newman reasoning to defend his actions, saying, "It's just business," while Phyllis will see it as the most heinous betrayal to date. She will come to see that, once again, she overestimated the master and was but another pawn in Victor's long game. Additionally, Genoa City will be shocked when Victor makes his revelation. There will be silence in the boardroom as he says, Noah Newman will take over as CEO of Jabot with immediate effect. Jack's mouth will drop. Hell is going to blow up. Diane will be in disbelief. Phyllis will also experience the room spinning. Freshly healed and transformed into Victor's likeness, Noah will take the stage with an unexpected level of confidence. He will express gratitude to his grandfather, pledge to uphold Jabot's legacy, and make it stronger than before. However, beneath that well-crafted statement lies a sinister reality. Noah's rule is really another phase of the Newman-Abbott conflict, and Victor is controlling the situation. This action would completely alter the power dynamics in Genoa City, and spark a new age of rivals. There would inevitably be a conflict between Noah and Kyle, two legacy heirs who are each motivated to live up to their family titles. Claire, too? Divided between love and loyalty, caught in the middle. Phyllis will be left to gather the pieces in the meanwhile. She will be planning her next move while feeling alone, deceived, and embarrassed. Perhaps she will attempt to reveal Victor's deceit. To reclaim what she feels she is due, she might collaborate with an unlikely ally like Adam or even Diane. Whatever route Phyllis Summers takes, one thing is for sure. She won't go softly. For now, though, everything is lined up for the spectacular betrayal of Victor Newman, and the emergence of an unexpected Newman heir. One thing is certain. Genoa City is about to witness the most spectacular corporate coup in years, whether it's Noah or another surprise figure. When it's all done, Phyllis Summers and the Abbotts will discover once more that the house always wins when you strike a deal with Victor Newman. The backlash starts as soon as Victor Newman makes his shocking announcement regarding Jabot's new leadership, and Genoa City is rocked to its core. The Abbott and Newman families have been embroiled in a vicious dance of animosity and rivalry for many years. However, Victor's strike is more devastating than it has ever been because it not only ruins a corporation but also lives, loyalty, and trust. Jack Abbott's response is swift and forceful. Although he is accustomed to Victor's power struggles, witnessing his own business come under Newman's control, and to a Newman grandson no less, feels like a dagger to the heart. Jack battled for years to keep Jabot safe from both internal treason and corporate vultures, and now he understands that Phyllis, not only Victor, delivered the last blow. Once again, he has been betrayed by the lady he once loved and trusted in spite of all the reasons not to. The situation is absolute emotional destruction when Jack confronts her. He demands to know how she could do this, his voice shaking with rage. "Phyllis, you betrayed not just me but all that Jabot stands for." Shaken but unflinching, Phyllis responds that she took the necessary action. She asserts that Victor gave her authority, and that she was meant to preserve the business rather than ruin it. Even she finds her remarks to be empty. She knows in her heart that Jack is correct. She sold her soul to the devil, not simply struck a bargain. Naturally, Victor didn't give a damn about the debris that remained. Jabot was always fair game in his eyes. If he has any regrets, they are because it took so long. It's not about revenge anymore, he says Nikki with his icy, smug grin. It's about putting everything back in order. Nikki is unsure. The Newmans are where they belong, on top. She observes the harm Victor has caused and the animosity growing among his own family. However, Victor still thinks he is untouchable. The whole business sector is taken aback by Noah Newman's appointment as Jabot's new CEO. The press conference is crowded with reporters who want to know if Noah intends to combine Jabot with Newman Enterprises. I'm here to ensure Jabot's success, he says, leaving the audience in suspense. His response is smooth, confident, and hauntingly evocative of Victor's early days. The rest we'll see. However, there is a storm concealed behind that composed smile. Noah acts more at ease in this character than he actually is. Noah is aware that he is merely a part in a much bigger game, despite Victor forcing him into the spotlight. He also knows that every choice he makes will be observed, evaluated, and may be used against him by both the Abbotts and his own family, even if he still wants to prove himself. Meanwhile, Kyle Abbott is unable to control his fury. This is more than simply business to him. It's personal. He was raised with the belief that Jabot was his birthright, and now he is witnessing an outsider, a Newman, steal what should have been his. Threatening to leave Marchetti with his entire staff, Kyle bursts into the boardroom and demands explanations. I didn't ask for this, Kyle, Noah says, attempting to remain composed. However, I'm not declining it either. That one sentence has the power to start a fresh competition that might shape both families' future. Torn between her family and her heart, Claire Grace Newman is caught in the crossfire. Things had already become more complicated due to her growing closeness to Kyle, but now that her cousin Noah is in charge of Jabot, she feels tugged in two different directions. Her conscience tells her to avoid the mayhem, but Victor wants her to stand with Noah and monitor Kyle. However, Claire's involvement can be risky because Jack and Victor could use her as a pawn. Phyllis feels more and more alone as the power struggle heats up. The very people she thought she could control are suddenly betraying her. Perhaps the loudest is Kane Ashby's rage. Kane confronts her with evidence, encrypted data records that demonstrate her betrayal, after discovering that she had stolen his AI technology and given it to Victor. Phyllis, you took advantage of me. You pretended to be on my side while lying right in front of me, he yells. Confronted, Phyllis tries to portray it as a miscommunication. She maintains that Victor coerced her, and that she just took the necessary precautions to keep herself safe. Kane but doesn't think so. He yells, you've been protecting yourself your entire life. Someone needs to make you pay for it. Diane Jenkins Abbott, on the other hand, can hardly contain her joy. She had been alerting Jack to Phyllis's problems for months. She now has evidence. I told you, Jack, Diane says quietly, taking advantage of the chance to re-establish herself as Jack's closest confidant. Even Diane is unable to overlook the consequences of Victor's takeover, despite her lack of understanding of loyalty. Shareholders are demanding answers, staff are in a panic, and Jabot's internal systems are in disarray. Diane may wish to get revenge on Phyllis, but she also understands that damage management is essential to the company's existence, which calls for confronting Victor. It is intolerable to witness Summer Newman's grief in the meantime. With sorrow and rage in her eyes, she approaches her mother at the Grand Phoenix. Mom, how could you? How could you assist Victor in destroying the business where I've put so much effort into creating my own? Phyllis begs her daughter to comprehend that she was merely attempting to reclaim authority and respect. Summer, however, is unable to hear it. She informs her mother that she will no longer support her schemes. Every bridge you have ever constructed has been destroyed by fire. Summer's remarks wounded worse than any corporate treachery could. Don't expect me to be the one who rebuilds it for you this time. Phyllis realizes for the first time that she may have lost everything, including her daughter's affection, her work, and her allies. Victor, on the other hand, thinks he has triumphed. However, his kingdom is never as secure as he believes. Nikki is getting more uncomfortable every day. She is sick of his never-ending campaigns and brutal methods, and this most recent action, particularly the use of their grandson as a pawn, disgusts her. "You've turned our family into a weapon," Nikki accuses Victor in one of the scariest exchanges in recent memory. Victor brushes off her warning, but a glimmer of worry appears in his eyes. "And one day that weapon is going to turn on you." Nikki may also be correct. Almost immediately, Noah starts to feel the pressure. Even with Victor's support, Jabot is not trusted by his staff. There are divisions even within the Newman family, and the Abbotts treat him like an intruder. Nick openly challenges the morality of placing Noah in control of an enemy company, while Victoria feels that Victor has erred. Adam smirks and says, "Dad's finally managed to alienate everyone, even the grandkids, enjoying the mayhem for once." Phyllis finds herself in a tight spot and knows that her only option is to exact retribution. She accesses her laptop by herself in her suite and retrieves encrypted files from Kane's pilfered AI system. Victor is unaware that she kept something there. The code has a backdoor, a weakness that only she can take advantage of. She will grant Victor a war if he desires one. She'll attack him with his own weapon. Phyllis's idea to flip the roles could have unexpected repercussions in the upcoming weeks. There are rumors that she may side with Adam because they are both outsiders in Victor's world and want to exact revenge on him. Imagine the two of them working together to use the AI to reveal Victor's manipulation of Newman Enterprises' digital operations and Jabot's stocks. The ultimate misfits, Phyllis and Adam, defeating the powerful Victor Newman from within would be poetic justice. However, the emotional toll is evident even as Phyllis prepares for her return. Her reflection in the mirror reveals the reality she finds difficult to accept. She has turned into the manipulative, lonely, and desperate person that everyone has accused her of being. Nevertheless, Phyllis will never concede defeat because she is Phyllis. Even if it means setting half of Genoa City on fire, she will rise once more. When all is said and done, Victor's most recent triumph might turn out to be his most hazardous to date. Because Noah, Phyllis, and even Nikki, the ones he's used, aren't just upset this time. They have motivation. And Victor might find himself in the midst of an uncontrollable conflict when the Abbotts and Newmans ultimately band together against him, as they will undoubtedly do. Alliances will change, secrets will blow up, and both families' legacies will be at stake when winter descends on Genoa City. One thing is certain though, nobody can rule indefinitely, not even Victor Newman. And if Phyllis gets her way, his betrayal and business will collapse spectacularly.